Imagine waking up to a city divided, a place where the familiar streets you once roamed freely are now severed by an imposing barrier. Overnight, a barbed wire fence snakes through your streets, separating neighbors, friends, even families. The city you knew is now a maze of restrictions and checkpoints. This was the stark reality for Berliners on August 13, 1961, the day the Berlin Wall began to rise. It was a day that would forever alter the course of their lives. The wall, a brutal symbol of oppression and division, would stand for 28 years, casting a long shadow over the city. It was not just a physical barrier but a psychological one as well. Before the wall, Berlin was a city of movement and flux. People moved freely, and the city thrived on its dynamic energy and cultural exchanges. Although already divided by the Allied powers after World War II, people could still move relatively freely between East and West Berlin. The city was a living testament to resilience and adaptability. This all changed in an instant. The construction of the wall was swift and unrelenting, transforming the landscape overnight. Families were torn apart, cut off from loved ones with little warning. The emotional toll was immense, leaving scars that would last a lifetime. What was once a city pulsing with life was now scarred by concrete and patrolled by armed guards. The vibrancy of Berlin was replaced by an eerie silence and a sense of foreboding. The impact was immediate and devastating. The wall not only divided the city physically, but also emotionally and psychologically. The wall became a physical manifestation of the ideological divide between the communist East and the capitalist West. It was a daily reminder of the geopolitical tensions that defined the era. It stood as a potent symbol of the Cold War, a stark reminder of the tensions gripping the world. The wall was a focal point for protests and a symbol of resistance. The wall was more than just a physical barrier. It represented the suppression of freedom and the human cost of political division. It was a scar through the heart of Berlin, a wound that would take decades to heal. The construction of the Berlin Wall was a direct response to the mass exodus of East Germans to the West. This exodus was not just a trickle, but a flood, with thousands leaving every month. After World War II, Germany was divided into communist East Germany and capitalist West Germany. This division was a result of the geopolitical tensions between the Soviet Union and the Western Allies. Berlin, although located deep within East Germany, was also split, with West Berlin becoming an enclave of freedom within communist territory. This unique situation made Berlin a focal point of Cold War tensions. This situation created a dilemma for the East German government and their Soviet allies. They were losing their workforce and intellectuals to the West, which was a significant blow to their economy and political stability. Between 1949 and 1961, an estimated 2.5 million East Germans fled to the West, seeking political freedom and economic opportunity. This mass migration was a clear indicator of the dissatisfaction with life under the communist regime. This mass exodus, termed the brain drain by East German officials, was crippling the East German economy and undermining the legitimacy of the communist regime. Factories were left without skilled workers, and the streets of East Berlin grew increasingly desolate. The wall was erected to stem this tide. It was a drastic measure, but the East German government saw no other way to stop the hemorrhaging of their population. It was a desperate attempt by the East German government to maintain control and prevent the collapse of their system. The wall was not just a physical barrier but a psychological one, meant to instill fear and compliance. The wall was heavily guarded, with shoot-to-kill orders issued to prevent people from crossing. This brutal enforcement was meant to deter any thoughts of escape. This brutal enforcement led to the deaths of many trying to escape, cementing the wall's image as a symbol of oppression. The Berlin Wall stood as a stark reminder of the lengths to which a regime would go to maintain its grip on power. The Berlin Wall became a powerful symbol of the Cold War, a global standoff between the United States and the Soviet Union. This period of intense rivalry and ideological conflict defined much of the mid-20th century. It was a physical manifestation of the ideological battle lines drawn between the two superpowers. The West saw the wall as a symbol of communist tyranny, while the East defended it as a necessary measure to protect themselves from Western aggression. The wall not only divided a city but also families and friends, creating a stark contrast between two worlds. The wall also served as a flashpoint for Cold War tensions. Incidents at the wall often brought the world to the brink of a larger conflict. In 1963, President John F. Kennedy famously declared "Ich bin ein Berliner," "I am a Berliner," in a speech in West Berlin, reaffirming the West's commitment to the city and its people. His words resonated deeply, symbolizing hope and solidarity. The wall became a focal point for protests, espionage, and daring escapes, with many risking their lives for a chance at freedom. Capturing the world's attention and highlighting the human cost of the Cold War, stories of separation and reunification were broadcast globally. The Berlin Wall, therefore, transcended its physical presence. It became a canvas for expression and a testament to resilience. It became a powerful propaganda tool for both sides, each using it to justify their actions and policies, shaping global perceptions of the Cold War and influencing international relations for decades. The legacy of the Berlin Wall continues to remind us of the era's complexities and the enduring quest for freedom.